Yo, YouTube, what going? You know, it's your boy Sadiq, and we're back again for another. We're back again for another. We're back in here for another video. Yo, shout out to the Cole gang for being in here, for being consistent, for being disciplined with you. What else can we ask for? We only ask of you and of ourselves that we keep growing by 1% each and every day. That's what we're about here today. So with that said, let's get into the video. So today we'll be talking about something that many people love to talk about. They love to brag about it. That is self-love. See that heart throbbing? Yup. How do you feel about you? Self-love. So that's the cog on which this video will be spinning today. So if you want, get a pen and paper. Let's go to work. Let's go. You know, many of the discomforts that we experience in life, it all comes back down to how we feel about ourselves. What situations we allow ourselves to be in. And I said, what we allow ourselves to be in. Simply because circumstances don't just oppress an individual. We always have a choice. We always have an option to opt out of that situation. You know, many of the discomforts that we find ourselves in, it comes back down to one thing. And it revolves around a quote I heard from a Buddhist monk. Saw it on Google, not lie. He said, an empty kettle can never fill the teacup. Did you get that one? An empty kettle can never fill the teacup. If I have nothing within me, if I don't love myself, how can I love you? If I have no appreciation for myself, how can I love you? And then we have a strange contradiction here, because here's the case. Many people find themselves in situations where they're someone's best friend. How do you look at your best friend? How do you treat your best friend? You want the best for them, right? That's why it's called the best friend. You'll give them the best advice. You'll give them the best of your time. You'll give them basically the best of everything. You know, I'm just gonna give you an analogy. A man finds himself in a situation where he's being cheated on by his wife or his girlfriend. He's getting burned left, right, and center. And his best friend says to him, bro, come out of that situation. You're way better than that. She deserves better. No, you deserve better. You deserve much better than a Jezebel like that, treating you like you're nothing. Get out of that situation. That's his best friend. That's the advice he would give to his best friend. But he's in a similar situation where instead of his wife cheating on him, she's abusing him every day verbally, telling him he's good for nothing, telling him that he amounts to nothing, basically. I don't want to be too explicit. And he's not coming out of that situation. Why? And we come back down to that one thing. That one thing that we all brag about, but we really need to check our understanding of it. And that's self-love. Rule of thumb. I conceptualize a thing. I mean, reasoning with my brother, we conceptualized something and we came up with this formula that worked. Self-preservation is the law of the land. You can write that down if you want. Self-preservation is the law of the land. Think of every situation in your life and ask yourself the question, what am I getting out of this? Am I being benefited by this relationship? Not only a relationship, but am I getting the better end of this deal? To contemplate. We must always try to look upon our lives as something that we are trying to nurture. Treat yourself as you would treat a best friend. And that's where we came up with this other principle called the best friend mind. You know, many people, they brag and they boast about having high self-confidence and high self-esteem. And with this phenomenon of social media, we find many people feeding a false self. So they base their self-confidence and their self-esteem and their self-worth based on the amount of likes they get on a picture, based on the amount of comments they get, based on the amount of reactions they get to a story that they post. The truth is, the only opinion that is to matter above all opinion, well, two opinions: the opinion of God and your opinion of yourself. Two opinions: your opinion, the opinion of God, and your opinion of yourself. All other voices amount to nothing. Yo, to hell with motivation. Motivation, even listening to me, listening to other motivational speakers, it's like placing a band-aid over cancer. If you don't look about the bigger picture, if you don't think about the root, while you're paying attention to the stems and the leaves, if you don't address the root of the problem, it will continue to grow and grow and grow as you try to progress in your life. The root I'm speaking of right now, as I said before, is self-love, or the lack thereof. And that is the root of all personal debacles. Let's tackle it. Instead of hitting it with the belt, let's hit it with the buckle. What? Yo, cool gang, at the end of the day, if you love you, you will do what's best for you. Do you want me to repeat that? If you love you, you will always do what's best for you. I think many times we get caught up, our attention becomes swayed, and we begin to focus on being good. In general, we begin to focus on being a good boyfriend, or probably in your case, a good girlfriend, a wife, a husband, a good brother, a good sister, a good friend, while you are an enemy to yourself. While you become alienated to yourself. You become so attached to how you treat other people, but you keep on neglecting the kettle. I'm reverting to the metaphor. You keep neglecting the kettle. The kettle is empty. How can you fill the teacup? How can you love someone while you hate yourself? That's how people find themselves in abusive relationships, lopsided relationships. That's how people find themselves becoming addicts, because they need something to fill that void. A void that only two things can fill. Only God can fill that void, and only you can fill that void. And I use the word addict as a general thing, because people can be addicted to everything, anything. As long as it's pleasurable, as long as it can remove your attention from the distress that you're feeling internally, you can become addicted to it. So we're talking about things like sex. We're talking about things like alcohol, partying, gambling. Just the thrill. Just the thrill. I know people that can be addicted to being in a crowd, when they're alone and when they have to face themselves. And because you hate yourself, you become your own demon. When they have to face that demon, they continually begin to scratch and claw at the walls trying to find a way out. So I wonder if we're finding out the root cause of many people's lack of their failure on the journey to their success. We continually look at the goal. We continually try to build up new strategies to go forward. But the root is not addressed. And I saw another quote by a Buddhist monk. Yo, these Buddhists are quite wise, you know. He said, take care of the root and the flower will take care of itself. Take care of the root and the plant will flourish. And it's common sense. The root of all things is how you feel about you. at the end of the day, at the end of it all, when your best friend is gone, when those in your circle have neglected you, when your parents have turned their back on you, they don't agree with you on something, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Who do you see? Do you still appreciate that person staring back at you? Do you still look at that person and have mercy upon that person? Another thing I can't understand, you can forgive somebody for a mistake they made, but people will dog themselves out for making a simple mistake. I heard this guy literally having an argument with himself, cussing himself out. And I didn't even have to ask, I didn't even have to look too deeply. I'm no Sherlock Holmes. But if one thing points to him not loving himself, you can simply use that as a marker to tell how happy his life is. Because believe you me, you can never be happy unless you get up in the morning and the person staring back at you, unless you love that person. You could love your partner, world without end. You could have the prettiest girl in the world, my youth. Or my girl, you could have the youth that all the girls want. If you don't look in the mirror and appreciate you, nothing can fill that void. Absolutely nothing. Fix the root and the flower will bloom. Last point, you expect to have haters left, right and center. You can have haters for the simplest of things. You can have haters because you carry yourself confidently. You can have haters because you fly. You can have haters because you have a gap in your teeth. Yo, people grudge you for you can't have haters because like when you talk you lick your lips. People hate for everything. People hate for everything, and people hate because they envy. But that's another video. But how can you stand as one of them that is hating against you? Does that make sense? How can you join the army of people that have come to see your demise? When you don't love yourself, when you don't appreciate who you are, when you don't appreciate your journey, you will do everything to sabotage, every single thing to sabotage your growth. If you set a goal to lose weight, if you don't love yourself right now, if you don't treat yourself like how you would treat a best friend, with mercy, with tender-heartedness, with long suffering, if you don't treat yourself like how you treat a child that you're raising to be a good person, everything that you do, you would try to sabotage it. You try to see it come to nothing. The flower will always wither because the root is poisoned. Take care of the root and the flower will bloom. Well, nation, I don't want to hear anybody coming in here and saying that I'm having trouble loving myself. Whatever you need to do to take care of your best interest, look into that. Do what you love to do, simply put, and place that above all other opinions. Yo, if you like to dance, if you want to be a dancer, this is just an analogy. If you want to be a dancer, so what if your mother wants you to be a preacher, or your father wants you to be a boxer? If you want to dance, you are loving yourself by dancing. You're taking care of yourself by dancing. I'm sorry I couldn't find a better example in the moment. But you know, when you look in the mirror, my question to you is, what do you see? Yo, this is Sadiq saying, School World Nation. Hey, giving them inspiration. Yeah, you know we deserve veneration. Me I go easy. Cartel, move over. You don't know we do a thing. Back on my game. You know we no lame. Bless up. One love. Peace.